violating the league's substance abuse policy and the terms of his conditional reinstatement. Prior to last year, he had missed 30 of 32 regular season games, including the entire 2017 season, for multiple violations of the league's substance abuse policy. Let me bring Adam Schefter in for the very latest on all of this as we get set for the Combine here. What can you tell us, Shefty, as we look at the Cowboys right now? They have so many big picture questions.
Well, Greeny, there's a lot going on in Dallas, as usual. And the news yesterday was that Randy Gregory has been suspended indefinitely for basically violating the NFL's substances abuse policy. Now, look, there had been talk about this at the start of the season, which the Cowboys denied. And then again, at the end of the season, there was some speculation about Randy Gregory at that point in time. And when a player is suspended for a fourth time, this being indefinitely, you have to wonder if he'll be able to return to the sport of football. First and foremost, you hope he's okay as a person and that he gets the help that he needs right now to battle whatever issues he's got, mentally, physically, whatever it may be. But again, Randy Gregory's NFL future is clearly in jeopardy. And also another Dallas defensive lineman, David Irving, who's scheduled to be a free agent this offseason, is also going to go through a process this offseason where he's going to be facing a suspension as well. So a couple of Cowboys linemen whose future is very much in question, Greeny.
All right. And then, Shefty, we have some of the more commonplace issues surrounding the Cowboys. They got a bunch of contractual decisions they need to make. Let's run through those, starting with DeMarcus Lawrence.
This is the player that is at the top of their priority list, and with good reason. You're talking about a guy right now, Greeny, who basically is playing off the franchise tag last year, and if they can't get a long-term deal done in the coming weeks, the Cowboys would be expected to franchise him again. But they do not want DeMarcus Lawrence to walk out the door. Stephen Jones said yesterday he's confident they'll get a deal done, but it is not going to be an easy deal, as DeMarcus Lawrence has a lot of leverage coming off the franchise tag last year, and with the salaries being what they are in the NFL. As for some of the other players, Dak Prescott, another player the Cowboys want to re-sign. They made it pretty clear yesterday that Dak is a priority, that they believe that they'll be able to get a deal done this offseason. You would think it would be similar to a Derek Carr type of contract, $25+ million a year. He's got 1 year remaining on his contract. They don't want to take it to the end. They don't want to have to use a tag on him. They want to get the deal done with Dak this offseason. First Lawrence, then Dak. And then there'll be the matter of Zeke Elliott, who they also want to re-sign. He basically is in a season where his contract ends after 2019. There is the team option for 2020, which the Cowboys, of course, will pick up, but they want to get it done, and they believe that Todd Gurley's contract that he signed last season provides the framework for a new deal. And as if it weren't enough to re-sign DeMarcus Lawrence and Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, there's also the matter of Amari Cooper, which really is one of the reasons that the Raiders traded him. They weren't going to re-sign him. They knew it was going to be difficult to do, and Amari Cooper's in a situation where he's going to want to get paid in Dallas, and they're going to want to keep him long term. We saw what he meant to that offense, but again, with all these players, there's so much to do in Dallas. There's going to be very little wiggle room, very little cap space for this team to go out and get other free agents, because the free agents they want are their own. They want to make sure that they don't get to the open market, Greeny.
Really busy time. We'll get back to you there, Shefty, at the Combine with a lot of news from there. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, let me get you to the baseball headline of the day, and that is Rockies third baseman Nolan Arenado set to be a free agent after this season, instead agreeing to an 8-year contract worth $260 million that could potentially lock him up through the 2026 season. There is an opt-out clause for Arenado after the 2021 season. This guy's as versatile as they come. He's one of 4 infielders to win at least 4 Gold Gloves in a season with 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. The others are Mike Schmidt, Johnny Bench, and our own Mark Teixeira. All right, we bring in our baseball insider, Jeff Passan. And Jeff, we are sort of at that place now where everything is relative to how does it affect Bryce Harper. So we talk at length about the Arenado deal. How does it affect Bryce Harper?
Yeah, everything in the world apparently revolves around Bryce Harper, at least the baseball world. And when you look at the average annual value, Greeny, of Nolan Arenado's 8-year, $260 million deal, that's $32.5 million right there. If you multiply $32.5 by 10, which is the number of years Bryce Harper wants, that's a $325 million contract. He is going to want to beat that average annual value, and he is going to want to beat that $325 million number, which is the record set by Giancarlo Stanton. The question is, what is his market looking like right now? It's clear that the Philadelphia Phillies are willing to go long-term. The Los Angeles Dodgers, on the other hand, are willing to go shorter term and may be willing to give opt-outs early on in any potential deal. It's a fascinating thing that finally seems to be barreling toward a conclusion.
Well, what does that mean? Quickly, I feel like I've asked you this every day. What does barreling toward a conclusion mean? When does the end of this thing come?
Listen, I would love to say that I know when Bryce Harper is going to sign, but there have been indications to clubs that he would like to get it done by the end of this week. Does that mean that it's going to get done by the end of this week? We're on day 117 right now. I'm not predicting anything. This thing could go until July for all we know.
Jeff Passan, well done. Thanks very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Greeny.
All right, we'll have more on that as we go. Meanwhile, still to come, R.J. Barrett is now the star with Zion's sideline, but should teams be considering him over Williamson for the first pick? We'll discuss it. And our quarterback tells you which quarterback should go number 1 in the NFL draft. And then I'll tell you whether or not he's right. All that's on the way. It's Get Up on ESPN.